And welcome back. A lot still to get to here in the desert. Taylor Fritz and Sebastian Baez, 6 Eastern. Cannot wait to see what the defending champ will do. And then on the women's side as well, world number 1 Iga Swiatek, 9 Eastern against Bianca Andreescu. And Carlos Alcaraz, the top seed on the men's side, in action as well. But first, as we do every year here in the desert, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Patrick St. Pierre, the Chief of Sports Medicine at the Eisenhower Medical Center. I love the new shirts, by the way, of the Eisenhower Medical Center.
I think is great.
And you may recognize Dr. St. Pierre from Breakpoint, Netflix, big star now. 14th year as the medical director here at the tournament. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about that partnership and how it's going.
Yeah, Eisenhower Medical Center is a big sponsor, of course, of the tournament, and we're pleased to be here and to take care of the players. And we also provide first aid for all the people who attend the tournament. So it's sometimes very busy, but it's really nice to be here.
Dr. St. Pierre, comparing this year to other years, I mean, what are the common injuries you're seeing from the players, and how's it going so far?
Well, I think this year's been a pretty standard year. We've had overuse injuries, had some nagging injuries that have been bothering people for a while. One of the things that we do is we provide ultrasound on site and a lot of different treatment things. And we also have a lot of access to great diagnostic measures like MRIs for different players and different injuries.
This year is more like the years of the past where we have so many fans here, finally back, right? Last 2 years wasn't really like that. How does your team take care of all the players and all the fans that we have here on site?
Well, we have 2 first aid major stations, plus there are emergency ambulances that are stationed around the tournament. So we can react to anything that happens in the stands. And of course, you know, we worry about people as the temperature gets hotter, that we have some heat injuries or people just tripping and falling down and hurting themselves.
Dr. St. Pierre, we mentioned earlier, you were a part of episode 3, Breakpoint, Taylor Fritz. You know, behind the scenes, we saw all of that transpire with his foot. What was it like for you?
Well, the challenging part was it happened right before the championship. So Taylor didn't know the night before, even when he got up, how bad the ankle was going to hurt. So he started to, he went out to practice, and then he couldn't play, and then he came back in. And normally for an injury like that, we would get an MRI. But we didn't have time. He was going to be on Stadium 1 in an hour and a half. So we went through a very thorough exam, and it didn't look like he had the standard ankle injuries that we see. It didn't look like a sprain. It didn't look like that he had injured a tendon. And so we thought that maybe he just had some capsular impingement in the back of the ankle, and we offered a lidocaine injection first just to see if that could have been the possibility. Obviously, there's a lot of risk involved, and we went through all that, and that's where, you know, all the discussion about his team saying, you know, maybe we don't play this time because he could have had an injury, but it really didn't look like it. So it was a reasonable risk for him to try to do this injection and give it a go, and it did. And he's a tough kid. He went out there and he won the match. So it turned out to be really good.
We heard you say, if this is my son, I would say, wait, let's get the MRI, let's get all the information before we make a decision. You didn't have the time to make the decision. So what did you think after he stepped on the court and won the title?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is when my job is to present both options.
Yeah.
And we did. We present, you know, I think this might work, so let's go ahead and do it, or we can do it. And the comment about, you know, family members is, you know, he's so young, so he's still got a big career. And if you make a wrong decision and he hurts his ankle, it could really affect it. So we had to make sure that he really knew what the risks were, and he was the one who made the decision. I think they made it very clear that everybody else was saying maybe you shouldn't play, and he did, and he won. So that's great.
It was really cool to see that behind the scenes, because normally, obviously, all the medical records, that's private. We don't get to discuss that stuff.
This is the first time I've ever been able to discuss any injury to a tennis player, so that's kind of neat. So, but it is a public record. It's on Netflix. So episode 3, if you want to see it.
Are you getting recognized in the restaurants these days?
A couple of people.
Okay. Big star.
Around here, that's for sure.
Dr. Patrick St. Pierre, thank you so much for taking the time. As always, continue doing your wonderful work, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks very much. Pleasure to be here.
And Taylor Fritz will be taking the court momentarily. We'll see his match against Sebastian Baez. A lot of tennis still to get to here in the desert. We've got you covered first ball to last right here on Tennis Channel.